What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list going into this upcoming week. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, not in any particular order, first one is SRM, so SRM Entertainment, sitting at 1104. Over the last 5 days, it is up 102%, and over the last 1 year, up 1,050%. So huge stuff, a lot of good information here that I'm not necessarily going to go over, but aside from that, this is the company profile for those of you that are interested. So leisure products based out of Winter Park in the States. So for those of you that are new to the channel, I do like to select stocks that have some pre-existing momentum, such as this stock, and in many cases, shorts just being overly extended. I don't always choose the most heavily shorted stocks like 60-70%. Sometimes you have like 20%, for instance. That is sufficient to have a nice squeeze, or either just a huge continuation of the momentum. So again, that's kind of the basis of why I selected some of the stocks that I did. But getting right to it, 11.21% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 1.16 million shares. Cost to borrow average is 327%. That is an annual rate, not a daily rate. But short score, higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 79.1. So it's as you can kind of see, shorts have been all over the place since it did start to really push higher over this last 5 days. Shorts did return a little bit, but still having 1.16 million shares is definitely a big thing. So I think this is one of those ones that you need to really add to your watch list. Also, through IBKR does indicate there's 150,000 shares available to be shorted. And the reason why I bring this up is typically if you have stocks that are on limited supply, you might see some buying coming from big money just to lend out. So when it comes down to that, that'll add a certain level of buying pressure as well. So let me know your viewpoint on that, but this is the first stock I want to go over. Second one is ticker RELI, so Reliance Global, sitting at 247. Over the last 1 year, it is down 75.94, but over the last 5 days, up 118.56%. This is the company profile, so based out of the States, insurance brokers, 64 employees, but 16.09% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 393,000 shares. This is exactly what the market loves to squeeze. Heavily shorted, low float, so it meets that criteria. Cost to borrow average is 418%. The max is 880. Short score 79.61. Utilization 100%. And then through IBKR does indicate a lonely 2,000 shares is available to be shorted. So you could definitely be seeing some buying this week when it comes down to this stock right here from big money. So letting you know about this stock, so another one to add to your watch list. Moving on to the third one. This one honestly is very popular, and it's interesting that it did make my list, but OSCR Health. I'm sure a lot of people have been getting into this like crazy, but sitting at 21.22 on Friday, went up 13.05. Over the last 1 year, up 17%, but over the last 5 days, up 48.08. So a lot of individuals are assuming that this is going to be another him and hers health type of scenario, how that plays out. This is the company profile based out of New York, life and health insurance, 2,400 employees, but 11.93% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 24 million shares. Cost to borrow average is kind of on the low end, so 0.78, and this is why the short score is a little bit low, so 63.94. But as you can kind of see right here, shorts have been very reactive to the stock price, so they've been massively doubling down. So this is currently the all-time high short interest this stock has ever had. So it's kind of a very unique circumstance. One thing I do want to bring up though is the DTC. Higher the number, the higher the kind of magnitude of a potential squeeze. So that does factor in the daily average volume. But currently 3.1 million shares is available to be shorted. So most likely you won't be seeing any buying from big money for this week because there's sufficient amount of shares, and plus cost to borrow is fairly low. But nonetheless, this one does have some pre-existing momentum, and most likely from what I can see, everyone is talking about it, so it should continue. So definitely this one is one to add to your watch list if you don't already have it. But moving on to the next one, ticker is LT. So Galletic Therapeutics, if I'm saying that right, most likely not, but sitting at 242 over the last 1 year, it is exactly flat, but over the last 5 days, up 72.24. This is what they do. So it is based out of the States. Now they're biotech, 15 employees, but currently 20.39% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 8.99 million shares. Cost of borrow average, 250%. Short score is 99.25. So this is the highest short score in the market as of right now. DTC is 19.35 days. So if this does have a good continuation of momentum, and let's say shorts do continue to double down as what they have been, this is going to be a very interesting squeeze play. So letting you know about that. And plus, on a side note, there's only 1,000 shares available to be shorted, so you could see some buying from big money going into this week. And then last but not least is Net Capital, tickers NCPL. Sitting at 413 over the last 1 year, it is down 52.03, but over the last 5 days, it is up 57.03%. So starting to get some good momentum going recently. This is what they do. So Boston, out of the States, asset management and custody banks, 21 employees, but 10.36% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 144,000 shares. Cost of borrow average is 20.45. Short score is 68.82. Through IBKR does indicate a measly 4,000 shares is available to be shorted. So in many of the stocks I did bring up, there is somewhat limited supply, so you could see some buying going into this upcoming week. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other squeeze plays that is worthwhile to kind of look at? If so, drop some tickers in the description below. But hopefully everyone's having a kick-ass weekend. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you are looking for some good buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, everything that you ever need. So definitely check that out. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.